Hello noble home dogs and pup champs. In today's video, we'll be discussing some brand new and pretty big information regarding Zack Snyder's Justice League coming to HBO Max in 2021. Before we begin, a word from our sponsor, DigiArt's WinX DVD. The WinX DVD festive giveaway is now on. Hit the link in the description below for your chance to get a free copy of DigiArt's WinX DVD, a professional tool that can be used to back up your favorite films and TV shows from DVD to MP4. So head to the link in the description below to get your free copy. For starters, we have confirmation that Zack Snyder's Justice League will be releasing in March of 2021, so sooner rather than later, which I am incredibly pleased about. We also know that in spite of its HBO Max release, Zack Snyder is trying to get the film in its full 4-hour format released to theaters with a possible R rating, as the film will feature graphic violence, including Steppenwolf cutting people in half with his axe, as well as Batman saying the fuck word. Which leads me to believe that this cut of Justice League is going to be nothing like the Snyder Cut of Justice League that would have originally released in theaters prior to Joss Whedon's takeover. I realize how weird that sounds, but hear me out for a second. At the very start of Justice League's actual production, Warner Brothers were mandating that this would be a 2-hour-long movie made with families in mind. And I think the first 2 Justice League trailers were entirely Zack Snyder's Justice League. So there was no Joss Whedon involvement until later in the year 2017, and that's when the film started to change, but we had 2 trailers before that. Now, allegedly during production, there was a little bit of conflict between Zack Snyder and producer Geoff Johns. Zack Snyder had a script for Justice League penned by Chris Terrio, which he wanted to work with. That was his vision for what this Justice League movie would be, but producer Geoff Johns kept stepping in and making changes to it, adding more levity, making it a much more family-friendly movie. So we had these 2 sort of forces behind this movie butting heads. And allegedly what happened is that Zack Snyder opted to shoot both Chris Terrio's version and Geoff Johns' version both at the same time. So they'd do a take pulling from Geoff Johns' edited script, and a take pulling from the original Chris Terrio script. So even before Joss Whedon took over the production from Zack Snyder, there was still a version that was a bit more family-focused, and there was a version that was the film that Zack Snyder wanted to make. So it is worth noting that the Justice League movie we will be getting in March 2021 is probably not even going to be anything like the first couple of trailers for Justice League that we got in 2017. Which is how, behind the scenes, a mandated 2-hour family-friendly movie could be transformed into a 4.5-hour R-rated movie, which I think is really interesting, but I have to say, I can also kind of understand the studio's decision-making here. I think Joss Whedon was a step too far, but I can understand the process of what Geoff Johns wanted. Zack Snyder is a passionate, maximum effort filmmaker, and I don't think anybody can deny that, whether you love the guy or hate the guy. Like, say what you will about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, but that is a high-effort production, no 2 ways about it, and Zack Snyder clearly put a lot of love into it. Like, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice has some intrinsic character decisions that I do disagree with, like things that I definitely would never do. It goes into places with Batman that I would never go, but I love the film just because of how hard Zack Snyder went with it, and just all of the way the film comes together, the cinematography, the music and everything. It's a fantastic film. It's not my ideal DC universe, but I love it for what it is, and it ends up being one of my favorite superhero movies. And that's the thing with Zack Snyder, is he makes the films he wants to make. He makes them the way he wants to make them, and he doesn't really factor marketing into it or reaching that target audience. He's a guy that is a filmmaker first and a salesman second, which is what I find really ironic, is when people drag Zack Snyder but claim they respect auto cinema. Like, no, dude, I'm not telling you to like the movie, but, like, don't pretend you're an enthusiast and then refuse to accept a film on the director's terms. Don't pretend you support creative freedom and then slag off Zack Snyder and take the piss. Because he's doing all the things that you would want to do, even if he's doing it very differently to what you wanted to see. But what I'm saying is I can kind of understand why Warner Brothers and Jeff Johns did want to brighten up Zack Snyder's vision for Justice League, not go for the R rating, not make a 4-hour-long movie, all for the sake of accessibility for general audiences, and, like, let's face it, kids are gonna want to see the Justice League movie, and, like, people say, fuck kids, but, like, I remember how it felt when I was a kid and Spider-Man 1 was being released and I couldn't go see it because in the UK it was a 12 rating. I was devastated. Like, imagine being a little kid and not being able to see the Spider-Man movie. Now imagine being a little kid and growing up watching Justice League Action or Justice League Unlimited on reruns or something, and then not being able to see the Justice League movie. I can understand why Zack Snyder's vision wasn't something they wanted to go all the way with the first time around. I still stand by that Joss Whedon reshooting 80% of the movie on a fraction of the budget and rushing it. Yeah, no, step too far, that should have never been even considered. And just intercutting shots of the actors smiling and gurning at the camera doing otherwise serious scenes, yeah, that's also really, really fucking stupid. That's not how you convey a mood. It's why the theatrical cut was the absolute shit show that it was. But I do think Zack Snyder's directed version of the Justice League, according to what Jeff Johns wanted, is a film that would have been a bit more successful and would have been ideal for most of the general audiences and stuff, where I do think that Zack Snyder's Justice League releasing in 2021 is going to be something that Zack Snyder fans are going to love. Die-hard DC fans are probably going to be a bit divided on, depending on, you know, what he does with it, and the general audience is just probably not going to be able to palate. I'm 99% sure I'm going to love the movie because in spite of my reservations about how Zack Snyder has portrayed Batman, I still love Batman v Superman, and I love what Zack Snyder did with it so much that it ended up being one of my favorite comic book movies. If you've seen me on Twitter, you will have seen that Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition was in, I think, my top 4 comic book movies of all time, and people were really scratching their heads about that, but it's like, as long as the movie's good, I don't mind some leeway with comic accuracy. Batman killing is always going to be something I disagree with on an intrinsic level and don't want to see again, and I wouldn't do myself, but Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is just a really good movie in my opinion. I hate how much I have to justify this, but this is the internet at the end of the day. We're all a pack of wolves. So while I think that Zack Snyder's 4.5-hour long R-rated Justice League movie is going to be absolutely incredible and going to be a big deal for fans like me, I do still think the smartest decision from a business and marketing perspective in the first place would have just been to go with Zack Snyder's version of Jeff Johns' edited Justice League movie. Like, for a general audience thing, I think that would have been the way to go the first time around and fuck the Joss Whedon version, but whatever. I mean, like, we're getting a very, very unique comic book movie coming very soon, which I'm sure is going to be like nothing we've ever seen before, so I'm really excited for it for that. We're getting like a singular vision, and that's not something that you commonly see in these big blockbuster things. So Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, coming to HBO Max in March 2021, is probably going to be either the best comic book movie experience in the world, or the worst, depending on where you stand on Zack Snyder and his vision of the DC universe. But yeah, no, it's gonna be incredibly interesting, incredibly unique, and I, for one, can't wait to see it, and I'm excited to know that the wait is almost over. But what do you guys think? Comment below and discuss, and as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below are different links to different social media feeds, as well as the giveaway and a fundraiser to help my buddy Lee's dog, as well as the link to my Patreon and a join button for if you're feeling extra supportive and extra generous. Yes, there's a lot in that description at the moment. It's the holiday season, what can I say? Well, with all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.